And Alderman Raymond Lopez is joining us live to continue this conversation. Alderman, thanks so much for making the time.
Thank you, Natasha.
I wanted to follow up on something you told me. You are raising the alarm. You are concerned that Chicago police officers are contracting measles. Can you tell us any specifics about this, and what is the worry for you here?
No, we had seen early on when we had 2,000 migrant asylum seekers living in our police stations that some of the infectious diseases that they had were actually being shared with our police officers. So we know that our officers were coming in contact and developing measles and mumps and some other things. And as we're moving forward with what we're going through now, my concern is that, our first responders are going to deal with tuberculosis next, measles continuing to be an issue, as we continue to see 39,000 individuals now in our city who have not been vaccinated, who are not being held to the American standard, and who are not only living in substandard situations, as you saw yourself, but also putting our children in harm's way as well in the public school system.
And I want to talk about the schooling issue in just a moment, but just to follow up there, so you say that there were cases of both measles and mumps contracted by police officers here in Chicago.
And we have been aware of that fact since August of last year, and every time we try to approach this subject, the police department, health department, the mayor's office, nobody wanted to talk about it. Everyone said that we were just trying to cause panic in our city, that there was no transmission of measles or mumps or even tuberculosis back then, for that matter. And we've seen that now clearly that is not the case.
Behind the scenes, can you tell us, have police officers approached you, have residents approached you who are privately concerned about the spread?
Every week I get calls and messages from officers who cannot come out publicly but are sharing the stories that they're dealing with in these shelters, sharing what they saw in the hospitals and in the ambulances, and seeing and telling me in a very general sense that all of what we talk about, all of what we fear is here, is happening, and is not being addressed by this administration.
And roughly how many officers do you know have been affected, have contracted measles or mumps?
It's too hard for us to be able to quantify that when you have a public health department that refuses to acknowledge that fact even exists. But I know that it's a huge concern for our police and our fire, as well as our teachers, to have that kind of infectious disease in their midst without any kind of recourse by the city to deal with it.
At the very least, I know you told me about a handful of confirmed cases. Is that true?
Oh, there's more. There are dozens, if not, hundreds more, because we have 12,000 officers who were dealing with the migrants working in their police stations. So we can only imagine how bad it was spread.
So, Alderman, I was at the shelter on Halstead. The warehouse is housing 2,500 people. You told me that you feel the migrants are being treated worse than animals. Can you tell me about the conditions inside of these converted warehouses, these shelters that are giving rise to measles outbreaks and now cases of tuberculosis?
Well, that shelter that you visited has had nearly half a dozen tuberculosis cases in the last month, has had nearly 60 measles cases in the last 3 months, and was where a young child, a 5-year-old, lost his life in December because of sepsis and preventable diseases. Inside of that shelter, which was basically an abandoned warehouse, we have heard reports of rat feces being all over, raw sewage being exposed, and dense living conditions for individuals who have no other sanitary conditions but whatever we provide them. Clearly, we're failing because in the aftermath of that young boy's death, we did nothing to help adjudicate any of those concerns that were being raised. Rather, the local representative didn't even address those issues. It took another member of the city council who was contacted to raise the alarm to the administration to get them to act. And when you are housing people in these kind of conditions, if these were animals, we would have closed this down, we would have cited the owners, and we would have rescued everybody inside. We had a situation just on the south side of Chicago where 40 cats were immediately removed from a house because it was too filthy, with the same conditions. But we put more emphasis on saving the 40 cats than we are on trying to save the migrant asylum seekers whom we claim to care about.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.